The Education Ministry has acceded to many of the proposals submitted by the Ghana Teachers Union, but the parties reached a bottleneck on the major issues of salaries. The union and the Education Ministry met on Thursday in last-ditch talks to avert industrial actions by teachers. Here is President of the Ghana Teachers Union, Mark Light, on what were some of the proposals both sides agreed upon.
The ministry would have agreed to paying of SEN teachers, improve salaries for those people, hiring of a specialist to help with schools that have dormitories, to relieve the burdens from our head teachers where there are dorms. Hinterland teachers, previously they were not allowed to move from, they were not catered for in terms of if they live in the hinterland and they were not from the particular area where they taught. They have agreed to address those in terms of ensuring that they are given a return fare to their homes once per term. The setting up of a revolving fund committee to deal with the Teachers House Revolving Fund, and that committee will comprise of a representative from the Ministry of Communities, 2 from the Ministry of Education, and 2 from the Ghanaian Teachers Union.
This is the Teachers Union's approach to what lies ahead in light of the impasse.
We also rejected the fact that they were not prepared to offer increased incentives for improved qualification. So that remains the same. The union rejects that. And the clothing allowance, not in agreement to pay clothing allowance, still 8,000. So we rejected that. Whitley Council, we were asking for 3 years. Now teachers would have to remain in the 4-year period in order to get the Whitley Council in.
As a government, we have committed and we have demonstrated what it means to improve not only salaries, but working conditions and employment conditions of our workers. My teachers have benefited from a number of measures, not only to increase, because you know that notwithstanding the absence of a multi-year agreement, teachers benefited from increases.
And with 2 weeks to the reopening of school across the country and the commemoration of Education Month, this is what the Education Ministry plans to do in the event the strike eventually takes place.
The standard operational procedure dictates that. And what it says, 1, parents have to get involved through PTAs. It talks about the hiring of temporary persons in the classroom to fill those gaps. It talks about based on the number of persons who are on strike and on board, whether you can do half day or whole day or you rotate. There's so many things. Of course, those are the technical issues related to education. And I've asked my chief education officer to ensure that we have all of the preliminary work done. In the event that we have to activate, we activate.
Outside of the Ministry of Education in Brigdam, scores of teachers stood in what they called solidarity for the cause of teachers across the nation. They expressed their views on the situation.
We have met the height of frustration with the government and the talks that we've been having. As it was mentioned previously by my colleagues, we had about 27 items on the table that we proposed to the government. They rejected all but 6 of them. And today we want to say that as teachers, we are the molders of the nation.
The rejection of the lump sum seems to be a big thing in our country right now, because the lump sum would have said 700 million, and to the Guyanese public that sounds like a lot of money. What you don't know is that there are 10,000 teachers strong in this system. And when we would have broken down the $700 million that sounded so large, it means that every teacher would only have been granted $700 increase.
Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.